Hello, we're live. It is Bill, the Knee Pain Guru. Today is Friday, May 21st, 2021. And today we are going to talk about, what are we talking about today? How to get a swollen knee, how to extend a swollen knee and get it to heal. So this is going to be a nuanced conversation. If you have questions, please enter those in the comments section. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and if you're watching the replay, absolutely enter in your comments because I use these for future videos. It is helpful to kind of get a little bit of dialogue going where the questions are. And this was actually, there was a video I did earlier this week with this person, Gamerboy13L, that is, they were struggling with a 65 degrees range of motion and a tight kneecap. We talked about that earlier in the week, and they continued to have questions. In my mind, the way I look at the body, it's like pretty straightforward in terms of what I had indicated on that video. However, they're still coming back with essentially similar questions or the same questions as to what to do. And so we need to have a different type of dialogue to kind of figure out, well, where's the disconnect happening? Because in order to understand, like if you're doing something and it isn't working, it doesn't work. You have to do something different. But it's important to understand we need to look at the knee differently. We need to look at the body differently in order for you to get different results. Like that's a basic fundamental. If you're listening to this video and you're going, huh? Then we need to get you on the same page of doing something differently. Because pushing through the pain, trying to strengthen the legs, trying to stretch the legs, doing your conventional approach is not working. And continuing to do more of what isn't working is not going to get you to where you want to be. Like, so we need to be there first in order to get you unstuck. Because that mindset piece that you're going to do something more of or slightly differently than you've already been doing that isn't working is why you're still stuck. It's a mindset piece, and that's why these videos are important, is to shift that mindset to begin looking in a different direction. Begin looking at your knee differently. Begin to look at your body differently, how your body functions, how your body heals, because that's what your body wants to do. It wants to heal. It defaults to healing. And most of the people, I've been doing this 2 decades now, and I've been working with clients online for the past 13, 14 years. Their biggest challenge, most people's biggest challenge, is not in their knee. It's in their mindset. It's in what they believe is going to work to get their knee out of pain. And what they do is it's like they double down on what isn't working and then are stuck and frustrated because they're trying really hard, or they're ignoring it and pushing through the pain. So this is a crucial fundamental component that it needs to click here in order to make everything else shift. So we got a comment that came in. It said, "The real captain. Thanks for answering my questions yesterday, Bill." You're absolutely welcome. Hopefully it's helpful. And here's the piece. I'm going to tell you the truth no matter what. Sometimes you won't like it. However, it's important for me to share the truth as I see it. Because I know when clients begin to work with these concepts and principles, it removes the blocks that are preventing their body from healing, from the swelling to go down, the range of motion to increase in the knee, the pain to be reduced. We're working with universal principles that apply in every aspect of our life. So many times, it happens frequently, is I will say things that will like, why did he say that for? That's not true. And many people will attack, they call it an ad hominem attack. They'll attack me for delivering the message. The message is that of what I see as truth, universal principles, where people are getting stuck and they're getting themselves hooked or in a place that doesn't get them the improvement they want to see in their knee. And I'm going, oh, well, it's right there. No, it couldn't be it. So the real captain, I'm glad that was helpful for you. And absolutely, if you have more questions, please ask them. I'm happy to answer them. But I'm going to answer them from a different paradigm. It's not going to be what you're used to. I'm not going to talk about strengthening the legs or stretching or your conventional approach. I'm going to talk about, from a foundational perspective, we have to look at changing the neurology in the knee that is causing the problem to begin with. We have to look at how we can change that neurological signaling, kind of like a fuse box that blows a fuse. We have to reset the fuse in the fuse box in order for the electricity to flow through that circuit. It's the same thing in the body. When we have an accident, an injury, a surgery, a trauma, through not necessarily a fault of our own, it happens. These things happen in our life. It's part of being human. Working out, being active, being parents, or being children, or being whoever you are, we have these things that happen in our life that cause pain. And that pain is there like a light on the dashboard to bring awareness to what we need to look at. We need to look at to change. We need to look at to do differently. And a lot of times when we shut that down, when we ignore that, the fuse that's blown in the fuse box, or the light that comes on the dashboard in the car, if we ignore that, we're ignoring it at our own peril. Now, that's not to go on the other end of the spectrum that we're going to baby ourselves and not push our bodies, because our bodies are designed to be pushed. We have to push it intelligently. We have to push it in a way that allows us to recover. If we don't recover, then the body continues to break down, and we run into a lot of the issues that people run into. It's why they go to the doctors and they get diagnosed with these symptoms of arthritis and bone on bone and all of these other challenges that they have, when all of those symptoms, as long as nothing is broken or torn, all of those symptoms are a result of ignoring what's going on in the nervous system. Okay, let's see, real captain, right? I try to detox the body. Hopefully that improves the knee. Also stretching and icing more. Detoxing can be helpful. Detoxing, stretching, icing, all beneficial. We have to zoom out and look at what's going on in the knee, like baking a recipe for baking a cake. We have to have the right ingredients in the right amounts, in the right order, with the right timing. And if we don't, one of those things are out of order, or not the right timing, or not the right ingredients, whatever that is, what happens is we'll get some improvement in the knee for a period of time. It'll change for a period of time, and then it'll come back. And this is where a lot of people get stuck and frustrated, that it's like, well, why doesn't this work? I've tried everything. And it's not that these things didn't work. It's just that we only played the first move, like the first move in a chess game. A chess game isn't determined by only moving a pawn or a knight on the first move. We have to look at the whole board. We have to look several steps ahead. And this is where people trip themselves up. Knee pain sufferers trip themselves up because they're only doing one move. And then they go back and they start again. Well, I tried to detox. It didn't work. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to stretch. It didn't work. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to ice the knee. Okay, come back. And what happens is it may be one or two of those things that can work, or it may be those three things, and now we need to add a few more things into that equation. Or it could be none of those things, and we have to go in a different direction. Like, is this making sense? Real Captain was the only one that's left any comments, but it's important. If it makes sense, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the Knee Pain Guru channel. Turn on notifications for future videos, because this is part of the mindset that keeps people stuck, keeps knee pain sufferers stuck. They're looking to how they can get the knee to heal itself, how they can reduce the pain, how they can increase the range of motion, and they're only doing great. It has improved. Awesome. And if it improves and it continues to improve, awesome. That's what we're looking for. Just know that if it continues to improve and then it stops, or it stops improving and then it regresses, understand that there are other factors that may be brought to the table. It's part of a larger conversation that needs to be had about what's going on in your knee, how your knee is connected with your hips and lower back. Which knee is it? How, when the pain came back, how was it? What was going, like, what were you doing? I have full range of motion, just pain in the knee and slight swelling. And I think I talked about this. This is the beginning of the conversation for arthritis. You have pain. You have full range of motion, but you could push through the pain. And that creates the conditions for the joint to begin to dehydrate. So the real captain says has improved, have full range of motion, just pain in the knee. So what happens is whenever there's pain in the knee, understand these dynamics. When there's pain in the knee, what happens? The knee tightens up. Normal, natural response to pain. So what everybody's body does when it experiences pain, we tend to hold our breath and the body tenses up. This is happening on a neurological level. Your nervous system, your body perceive, your body, your brain, your central nervous system, the nerves that go out to all parts of your body, experiences this pain, whatever the pain is caused by. Hold our breath. It tenses up to protect itself. When the body tenses up to protect itself, what happens? It begins to restrict blood flow. Look at my hand. I'm squeezing my hand just for a few seconds. Now I open the hand up. It changed color. Why did it change color? Because I relaxed the tension in the hand, and now blood and oxygen were able to get into the hand and change the color of what's going on in the hand, because the tension was changed. This is what happens in your knee when you feel pain. You have that indescribable, it's like it's tense. It just doesn't feel right. I have the full range of motion. Yeah, you've been told you have arthritis. So here's what happens with all diagnoses of arthritis. Ask your doctor this. Ask your physical therapist this. Look at your diagnosis, and it'll say arthritis, dehydrated joint. All diagnoses of arthritis, from arthritis to bone on bone, any diagnosis that has arthritis in it, it's dehydrated joint. So what's happening when the joint begins to dehydrate? Tensed up because of the pain, squeezing in the joint, it begins to dehydrate the joint just from the tension. And now you begin to move. You have full range of motion in the knee joint, but it hurts. So what's happening is that tension and the dehydration, the lack of fluid, lack of water that's able to get inside of the joint begins to wear the joint. And this pain goes on for a long enough period of time. The joint's wearing. It's causing more pain. It's tensing up further. Your body is shifting and compensating for this pain. So now it's shifting to your hips and lower back, your hamstrings, your quads, your ankles and feet. It's moving throughout your body. It doesn't feel right. And this accelerates the process. The more you now, okay, wait a minute. This is good. This is good. This is good dialogue here. I love this. So I've been told I have arthritis. Got it. So the body is tensing up to protect itself because of the pain. We have full range of motion. Now the joint's dehydrating. And then this is what happens. People don't drink enough water. That's part of the equation. Making sure the body has enough resources, aka water, to hydrate the joints. That is part of it. Then we have to look at, once we get you dialed in with water, you're drinking enough water so your body has the water that it needs. Then we need to determine, is your body able to absorb the water that it is drinking? Meaning you can drink gallons of water per day, but it's going right through you and you're going to the bathroom. And when you're peeing, it's clear. That's because your body doesn't have enough minerals to absorb the water that you're drinking. So it shuts off the mechanism to hydrate the body fully because it doesn't have enough minerals to get the water from outside of the cell to inside of the cell to flush it out. So it shuts that off. You could drink plenty of water, but you're still going to have achy knees because the body can't absorb the water that you're drinking. Now, Lori Rios says, yes, yes, and yes. Okay, so I know this story. I've been rolling with this for 2 decades now. Okay, so now the next step of the equation is we're drinking water. We don't have the minerals to be able to absorb the water. So now we're going to the bathroom. And this goes back to the mindset I was talking about earlier, that it's like, okay, they said my joint's dehydrated, so I'm drinking more water, but my knee still hurts. This is because we have to play chess. We can't just do that first move. We have to go multiple moves down the road, which is we're drinking water. Now we're making sure the body has the minerals so the body can absorb the water that that you are drinking, and you're not running to the bathroom. And then we have to change the neurological signaling, because we still go back to the tension in the joint. The joint's still dehydrated. You're drinking water, your body can absorb the water, but it can't get in the joint because the joint is squeezing too hard. The joint is too tight because of the pain, the injury, the accident, the trauma, the surgery, whatever happened in the knee. Now the joint is too tight. So we have to change the neurological signaling in the joint to get it to relax. So now the water that you are drinking is, now you're getting the water into your body. Now you have the balance of minerals, so your body can actually absorb the water. Now it absorbs the water, and we change the neurological signaling in the joint so the water can actually get in the joint to lubricate the joint, to stop the wearing of the joint. You can see there's layers to this game. This is not just like, okay, drink what, people ask me all the time, you got any tips? You got any suggestions? You got any ideas of what's going on? Well, yeah, we have to look at layers of what's going on in your body. I can't just say drink more water and then it goes back to the way it was. It's just like, once again, it's only like playing that first game of chess. We have to look at dynamically what's going on in your body to give it the resources it needs. What does it say? I guess I need to keep the joint lubricated. That's part of it. Okay, it doesn't drink enough water. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Absolutely. But what's important is that you're doing this in a way that sets up the conditions so you can win. What does winning look like? Winning looks like you get up in the morning, your knees don't hurt. You enjoy your day, your knees don't bother you. Or if your knees do start bothering you, you have the tools to know what to do to get your knee back out of pain. Because the reality of it is we're human. We have to change the neurology at the same time that we are setting up the conditions so your body can heal itself. So the pain begins to get reduced. You're teaching your body how to recover faster. You're giving it the resources it needs to do so. And then you're watching out for the mindset that's going to sabotage you in the process, that's going to throw your body back into pain. This is a big mistake that when working with clients, what they do. Oh, okay. Well, it's been a week or 2 weeks since I was in excruciating pain. Now my pain level's going down. It's awesome. Can I go back to the gym now? Can I go swimming? Can I go biking? Can I go, do your life the way it was? Well, yes, if you're not going to throw yourself back into pain again. And if you do throw yourself back in the pain again, do you have the confidence and understanding of how to get your knee out of pain? Otherwise, we're on the hamster wheel. You're right back where you started from. So we have this isn't just like a tip or a trick or a suggestion on how to get out of pain. This is a real long-term strategy for healthy joints in your body. Does that make sense? If you like it, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications for future videos. If you have more questions, please enter those in the comments section. Let's see what else. If you want to know, like, hey, this sounds good, what do I do next? And this is important. This is for Gamer Boy 13. Anybody else, the real captain, take action. Like, absolutely drink more water. That's going to be a big step, and see what that does. Go down below this video. The risk reward factor. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people don't necessarily. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. When I first blew out my knee, and like this is how I got into all this. I dislocated my left knee 4 times. That was the truth. Skiing, judo, volleyball, softball. I could have kicked myself because all I wanted to do was be out on a judo mat and throw people. That's it. Bottom line, end of story. But I jacked my knee up, and my whole goal was to get back out on a judo mat because that's what I love to do. And I achieved that. Got back out on a judo mat. I was happy with how my body was performing. Then the awareness that I gained in the process, it was like there was a little bit of a risk reward thing that was going on with judo that I couldn't justify how bad I felt after going to practice. So I got back to where I wanted to be, but then my goals, values, direction in my life changed. It's like, well, that's not so great. Cool, I threw people, but there's more to this. And ultimately my path. And that's been, once again, it's been 98, I blew out my knee. 99, I had the surgery. June of 99, I had the surgery. And then I ended up changing my entire life and 2000, I sold a company and went and traveled for close to 3 years to study what I'm doing today. So, okay. Focus, Bill. Squirrel. Go down below this video and sign up for my newsletter. I have sent out emails each day. It's about changing your mindset of what's going on with your body, with your knee, how to begin to shift things. And then I also have a link in the description, the link to the newsletter. Here, wait a minute. Let me put this here, kneepainguru.com. That's my website, kneepainguru.com. It's also going to be in the description box below this video. Sign up for the newsletter. I also have a link to schedule an appointment, a consultation, if you'd like to set up a time to talk with me and figure out a strategy for what's going on with your knee. And that strategy call would be more for someone that is dealing with, they just got their knee diagnosed that they tore a ligament, or they tore the meniscus or cartilage in their knee, or they got they had a surgery thing that is in front of them, and they're trying to sort through things. So we can look at, like, what is your strategy? What strategy do you take? In what order do you want to do everything in? And how can you prep before surgery so you have the things that you need to recover the fastest on the other side of surgery? Because I don't care what anybody says, the Western medical model has a role in this, like, especially if something is broken or torn. We have to acknowledge their expertise and wisdom that they're bringing to the table to repair what's going on in the knee if something is broken or torn. I don't know if I could have gotten to where I am right now without the help of Dr. Ellis from the University of Louisville sports teams, who was the orthopedic surgeon. He played a crucial role. The physical therapist played a crucial role. But it gets to a place where their understanding of the body on a certain level stops. And everything on an X-ray, a CT scan, or an MRI is going to be normal. There's nothing wrong with your knee. Yet, your experience of your knee is you still have pain. So this is where their knowledge and experience stops. And then this is where we have to look at a deeper understanding of what's going on in the neurology, what's going on in other aspects of your body, tension patterns that affect from your head to your feet, looking at making sure the conditions are correct so your body has what it needs to heal itself, and the self-sabotaging mindset that can jump in there at any point in time and set us back. So we need to look at that bigger picture. Anyhow, that would be for setting up an appointment, a consultation. And then the third one is Knee Club. I have a group coaching program where I would hear what you're saying. Like, where are we? Be it Lori or the real captain, I would go, okay, Lori, tell me, where does your knee hurt? And you would say, it's my right knee. It's in the kneecap, and it hurts when I go upstairs only. Perfect. Got it. So I give you specific video modules for your kneecap and tension patterns that are going on in your hips and lower back when you go upstairs. And that begins to change the neurology in your knee, in your legs, in your hips and lower back. So now the next time we talk, you're going to have a different experience. You're like, well, it's not so much in my kneecap anymore. It's moving down my shin, and I'm feeling it in the back of my knee. What's going on? Great. These are tension patterns that are shifting because we're changing the neurology. And we're changing it not by pushing through the pain. We're changing it by creating comfort. We're changing it by increasing your awareness, because your awareness will increase when your pain decreases. Your attention focuses on pain when that's all you feel. And when we start creating comfort, we change the neurology, You start gaining awareness in other areas of your knee, your leg, your body as to how the knee is affecting the rest of the kinetic chain going from your head to your feet. And these other factors of water, nutrition, breathing, mindset, stretching, mobility, strengthening. And we don't look at strengthening until you have a solid foundation of your pain level is down for a significant period of time. Like, you know what comfort feels like again. You have an awareness, you have an understanding, you have a baseline again of how your body feels good. And when your body feels good, then we start incorporating stretching, mobility, strengthening into there, and that baseline begins to go up a little bit. We're going to know, with the understanding of the tension patterns that are going on from your head to your feet, because we're monitoring this in the process, how to create comfort again to get your baseline to comfort. So we're pushing not based on some idea you have in your head of what you're supposed to do. You're pushing based on the experience of your neurology feeling good. So it creates a new reality for your knee, your legs, your body, your life, because that all has to change. We all have to tweak and adjust that. Some people can integrate that faster than others for whatever reason, family, job. But we look at how we can incorporate those things into your life. Meaning, I've worked with postal workers, so they need to have tools that they could use when they're getting in and out of a vehicle and then walking with a load on their shoulder. It's different than a white collar desk worker that is sitting all day at work. That is different than a professional athlete who has to exercise and do certain things to exist, to earn money, to perform. That's different than a person that is just going to be standing on an assembly line. Different pain, different tension patterns, different situations and scenarios. We don't have to, we don't have to put big chunks of time to do therapy, because the reality is our life doesn't lead to a big chunk of time that we're going to have to take out to create comfort. So we want to begin to incorporate this comfort in our life. There was a client that I spoke with yesterday. I gave him to do things while he's sitting down. Another client this week, I gave them to do things specifically when they're standing up. Another client I gave to do things specifically when they were walking. So these are all based on what the person is experiencing or struggling with, and we give them tools to work with those specific situations and scenarios to change the neurology in the knee, in the legs, in the body, to be so they can function in their life. And each time we're teaching the body how to recover faster and feel better on a baseline. Okay, Lori says, yet so much of it is the same for all of us. Lori, what do you mean by so much of it is the same? That would be helpful. And I can speak to my interpretation of that these tension patterns, and this is where there's a little bit of a disconnect when someone with a diagnosis gets such being PT. Okay, now PT gets a diagnosis from a doctor, and the doctor is going to have their specific codes that the PT is bound by to help with. So underneath that insurance code, they have certain exercises that they have to have you do. So it kind of puts you, insert tab A into slot B is what a physical therapist is required to do. I get it. I don't fault them. I'm just saying that's the model. That's the business model you're working with. And it's a very successful business model at that. But at some point in time, we have to begin to take a step back and go, I'm not going to fit in that cookie cutter approach. I'm unique and different. The tension patterns that are going on in my body, the pain that's going on in my body is different than anyone else's. Like, that's a baseline. And this is true. And at the same time, we have to begin to understand how to get the pressure off of the nerves and create comfort. So we change the neurological signaling. Physical therapy needs to be done right away. And that pressure can create the hamster wheel effect. You got to strengthen your legs. I mean, that's what it was like for physical therapy for me. I blew out my left knee. Dr. Ellis said, I will sign off on and release you from physical therapy once your left leg is within 80% of the strength of the right, which is a legit, goal. And that's what I did. I pushed my left leg to make sure I got it strong enough to be released from physical therapy. However, it still left a 20% discrepancy in strength between the legs. And to walk without feeling this pattern that is going on in my hips and lower back, and the compensation and swelling and stiffness I still felt in my knee was not normal. Put my knee underneath an x-ray, a CT scan, and MRI, it was good. But in terms of my experience of my body, it didn't even feel close to normal. I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't digesting my food well. Elimination was difficult as well, because we have an imbalance in the pelvis. And then you have this whole lymphatic system that plays a role in all of that. Hormones, sleep, digestion, all of that is affected by the balance or tension in the pelvis. And if you're walking around or limping around like I was, which is the pelvis is off kilter a little bit because we're protecting the knee, what ends up happening is it affects everything in your life. So it's not just the knee. We can't just isolate the knee. And we get into even a glimpse of what we've talked about today in this video, in this call, the record scratches for the conventional medical model. They can't go there. They're not qualified. Doctors aren't qualified to talk about nutrition unless they've specifically taken courses in that. But I have friends in the medical profession, and your average doc out there is only going to get about 4 hours worth of nutrition, which, okay, I'm not faulting them. I'm just saying we can't look for the entire picture from a model, a medical model, a business model that only looks at a portion of the conversation. Okay, now it was time for the chiropractor. And chiropractors are great too. I've been to plenty of chiropractors in my life. Well, I understand that the chiropractor, now, not all chiropractors are created equal. They're different chiropractors. They specialize in different things. They focus on different approaches. And it's important to understand, most chiropractors will put the body back into skeletal alignment, which is great and beneficial, and it can really bring a lot of healing back online in the body. But if we're talking about patterns that are stuck in the neurology, we're essentially talking about trauma. Trauma that gets stuck in the neurology creates tension patterns even after our skeleton skeletal system has been put back into alignment. And what'll happen is that's why you have to continue going back to chiropractors. And like I said, I'm painting a broad brush here. I'm not talking about all chiropractors. There's some wonderful ones out there. What I'm saying is if you put the skeletal system back into alignment, it can help. But on some level, those tension patterns are going to come back from the trauma that the body has experienced from accidents, injuries, surgeries, whatever we've been through, and it will pull the body back out in from the same neurological patterns that they just straightened back up. So we have to look at changing the neurological signaling that's going on. Forgot there for a second. The real captain posted a question or a comment. So we have to address these neurological signals. We have to address these imbalances in the neurology, not just skeletally. That's when I talk about tension patterns. We're talking about tension patterns that can be held in the muscle, the tendon, the ligament, the fluid, the fascia, the skin, the bone. That's what makes up a tension pattern. A thought we have in our head about a situation, a belief we have, can hold in the neurology in a way that causes the body to get out of alignment. So we can line up the skeletal system and you can still have that thought which pulls the body back out of alignment. So we need to shift things on many different levels. Anyhow, it doesn't make any sense. If it makes sense, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for future videos. I'm doing these throughout the week. As I find, the questions, it allows us to go deeper in the understanding of the mentality of it. We have to change that. We have to change our thinking about this in order to get the results that you want. So what to do next? You can go down below the video, join the newsletter, schedule a time for a consult, join Neat Club. That's my group coaching program. We get into this much deeper, and deeper in the sense of I'm going to give you the tools, even more tools. Like we talked about the water, we talked about the mineral imbalance, we talked about the dehydrated joint, creating comfort in the joint, things like that. We did this more getting into the nooks and crannies and like how you work with the joint, how you work with the knee, how you work with the fibula, the bone on the outside of the leg, how you work with the tibia, the bone on the inside of the leg, how you work with the kneecap or the femur, the bone in the upper leg, how you work with the femur in relationship to the hip, how you work with the hip in relationship to the lower back. And all of these things, as we're gaining more awareness and creating comfort, and your body feels better on a consistent and regular basis, you become more aware of these tension patterns and how they're related. You get a real good sense of when the body's dehydrated and what you need to bring it back into balance. I'll call you on whatever you need. If you need a cheerleader, I'll be a cheerleader. If you need a drill instructor, I'll be a drill instructor. But it's all about getting you to a place where you're experiencing your body the way you want it. And I can take you as far down that rabbit hole as you would like to experience. So, oh my goodness, we've been going 45 minutes. I'm a talker. Anyways, anybody else have any questions? Maybe not. Great questions. The Real Captain and Lori Rios. That is, no, that's good. That's really good. And this is not a program for someone who's going to look for a drug, shot, surgery, or a quick fix, a pill. What herbs, what supplement do I take? that, a tip, suggestion, insight, any idea what's going on with my knee, I'm drawing on 2 decades of studying the body on a different level through my own personal experience and then working with clients. So if we're looking at just like a little bit, I'm not gonna be very helpful to you, because I've got 13 years worth of videos that you could spend listening to what I have to say, about tips, ideas, suggestions, things like that. I'm the person that I'm going to be able to help is going to want to not only resolve their knee issue, but want to have a personal exploration of and a deeper relationship with their body, so they can continue to feel better. Like, I just turned 50 this year, and I don't feel it. I don't have the aches and pains like I look at people even in their 30s are complaining about. And it's not that I'm doing anything that different or special. It is just a deeper understanding. And their own belief is keeping them stuck. I've even seen people in their 20s. They think they're really old, and this is how it's supposed to be. And what I want to be able to do is, those people are there. There's plenty of videos to watch of me talking about looking at the body differently. But this is only going to take you so far. And I could, getting into one of my group or my coaching programs, I do group and private coaching where I work with you one-on-one or in a group format, and we'll go as far as you'd like to go in your understanding of your body. So let's see. No questions. Excellent. You've answered them. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So I'm really tickled with Lori Rios and the Real Captain, is their depth of their questions, interaction. It's good, because that's the only way you get unstuck. You don't know what you don't know, just like I don't know what I don't know. And it takes an objective third party that has been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, to be able to point out where the landmines and pitfalls are going to be for you. So, and I'm able to do that if you want, and if not, that's okay too. Okay, we got one more question. Something just came in here. Okay, Lori, spoke with you a few months ago after my broken patella. Now I've been in PT for over 2 years. I'm over it. Yep. Yeah. And I won't say that I told you so. But it's okay. Like, everybody gets it in their own timing. And, this has been a personal journey for myself as well in understanding how to present the information, because sometimes you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar. And I've worked on my presentation. So who knows? Anyhow, yeah, I'm ready to help whoever is open to be helped at whatever point in time that is. There's those that, and we're really, ultimately, we're looking at trauma. Like, that's what it is. The body gets injured in a way. Certain patterns present themselves that connects dots for other things going on in our life. And when we can begin to zoom out and do the third party objective observer of what's going on in the physical body, that's a game changer. But depending, some people just have different paths, different journeys. Anyhow, Lori, it would be great to have you on board. The Real Captain, would be great to have you on board. Anyone else that's out there that has questions, feel free to put it in the comments below. And all of the information about where to go next strategy moving forward is in the description box, which has those 3 links to the newsletter, to the consultation, and to Knee Club. Sit. Thank you all so much for being here. This was fun. This is Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru. Going to sign off for today. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one.